All right, guys, welcome back. So this one's important, so I'm going to get stuck straight in. So I'm going to discuss how I eventually went from being in that break-even stage for about 4.5 years, the changes I made to actually transition, which you can then apply as well, to get to profitability. So initially, the reason that I was in that cycle, I call it the stress cycle, the reason I was in that period of just going around and around in circles was because I hadn't installed an actual system to improve month on month. So there was so much randomness involved in it. So it was like I would take these trades, I would look at the week and think, okay, how did I trade yesterday? How did I trade at the end of the week? And then I would make changes incrementally based on that, based on the most recent results. It wasn't based on data. It was, let's say, it was data because it was what had just happened, but it wasn't a large enough sample size. So I was using data, let's say, but literally just going off what had just happened, and it was emotional, and I was making changes again based on feeling, based on what I'd just been wounded by. So if we're trading like this, our trading is going to be stressful. We're going to be forcing it. It's going to be super emotional, and we're not going to make any money. So this is just an unsystemized approach to trading, and it's quite often the way that traders are trading. To be honest, like most of the guys I work with, this is what they're doing. They have no plan on how they're going to improve week on week, month on month, etc. So the way that we want to flip it, and the way that I changed it, was to install an actual data-driven system. So we're actually using maths to answer questions whenever we can. So the rule of thumb is anytime a question can be answered by maths, we should use maths to answer that question. We stay taking trades, it stays in a circular motion, but we're building on each month, we're building on the previous month. We're not just taking trades this month, we have a good month, and we have a bad month, and it's just completely unstructured, unsystemized, completely random. This way of trading, because it is systemized, because there is data to back up our decisions, it's much more relaxing. Like, you can actually trust in the system. You take a loss, it doesn't hurt as much because we know the numbers. It's like, okay, this is just part of one of 20 trades, and let's say out of those 20 trades, 8 of them are going to be losers. So this is just one of those 8, and it's much more easy to deal with. We don't beat ourselves up as much. It allows us to be in more of an abundant state, more relaxed, and just indifferent to the results. So that is the first thing that we have to do. These nice drawings here, they're basically to represent that we have to install data. We have to have a way of measuring our progress month on month. So if you're recording data now, if you're just using a spreadsheet, or if you're not doing anything, if I can start now, if you're just using a spreadsheet, we have to think, how can we actually utilize this data to make a decision? Recording it is great, but that's just the first step. Like, if we're recording data for data's sake, for the sake of it, there's no point in doing it, because we're just spending time that we could be reviewing charts, adding playbook examples, just inputting data to do nothing with. So we have to install that, and that will, again, all those emotions and everything, they will just simmer down. The more data that we have, the easier it is to actually make decisions. Cool. So then the next thing is we want to focus on stress reduction. So trading, it's inherently stressful, just the way the markets are. So we have to do everything that we can to actually lower our response to this stress. So to mitigate our stress response in our body. So things we can do, and things I did, was to simplify the rules. So if our rules are super fucking complicated and there's a million things we're going to analyze, we're looking at 4 different charts and 4 different time frames, we're very susceptible to analysis paralysis, let's say. So the more simple we can make our rules, the easier it is to make decisions. So right now, take your rules and think of any way. Like, imagine, I like to do this, that first of all, explain your rules in the elevator pitch. So you hop into the elevator with someone, you have, let's say, 3-4 floors to explain your trading strategy to them. What do you say to them? And then I like to frame it with, you're in the elevator with an expert trader, how would you describe it? And then redo it, you're in the elevator with a complete beginner, someone who knows nothing about the markets. How do you then describe it? And that will then just help you to frame the everything through the simplest, most basic format. Ooh, my butt's taken off. So then I would highly recommend installing some form of a fixed risk to reward. So a couple of reasons for this. So the first thing is, if you have a minimum of 1 to 3 risk to reward, that means we can literally lose 3 trades in a row, and then we win 1 trade and we're back break even. You can lose 2 trades and win 1 trade and you're profitable. So it's very easy on the mind to take the losses, because we know that, okay, it's very easy to make it back. Second reason is it makes recording data so much easier and so much more effective. Like, most of you watching this probably aren't the biggest quants and know exactly how to analyze different data, whereas if we have a specific amount, it's like, okay, because basically the most important rule of data, jumping back to here, is our expected value. We want to calculate our expected value before we do anything else. So, well, first of all, build the playbook, have that setup outlined, then build the data set, so like at least 20 trades, and then from those 20 trades, calculate the expected value. Then we make changes incrementally, changing one thing at a time, and then just testing to see if the expected value rises or falls. If it rises, it's a positive change. If it falls, obviously negative. So a fixed risk to reward makes calculating our expected value so much easier, because one of the metrics we need to calculate expected value is average win. So if our average win is always the same, our average loss is always the same, makes the data collection and analysis so much easier. Then adding in some form of a higher time frame approach. So even if you want to enter in on the lower time frames, one way you can reduce your stress levels is having a higher time frame area of interest there. Again, it's common knowledge, like if we're just on the 1 minute chart, we're super zoomed in, freaking out, we don't really feel comfortable to hold our trade from a 3 to 1, because there's no reason why it should continue to that. Whereas if we know we have the backing of a higher time frame zone, the sellers from that zone or the buyers from that area, then it's reduces our stress, enables us to hold it easier. And then, yeah, data-driven improvements. So have to be making adjustments based on the data. Like, 'cause then it's not us, it's not randomness, it's not, I think this is going to make a difference this week. It's literally like the math has told me this. So it again just completely reduces stress. And again, we don't beat ourselves up as much. We don't hate ourselves when we make a loss, because again, it's part of the data. The data will allow for that. Cool. And then last section, super important, is the actual trader itself. Me. So I had to upgrade myself. I had to upgrade my own self-image. And again, we will never out-trade our own self-image. So if we do not genuinely believe at our core that we are the person who can make that money, then we will never make it, and we will always give it back. So it all starts with, do we believe what we say, or do we believe that we can do what we say that we're going to do? And oftentimes we go into trading believing that, and we often have a bit of ego to actually even think that we can fucking be in that 5% of people that actually make money in this game. And that's great, and it pushes us forward. But then we lose and we lose and we lose, and we start to think, fucking hell, like, am I actually cut out for this? Or I have a plan and I keep doing the opposite, so therefore I don't actually do what I say that I'm going to do. And just that subconscious boom, 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 over and over and over again. And eventually we stop believing it. We stop believing that we're going to do what we say we're going to do. And that will then, you'll notice it spill into other parts of your life. Maybe you're starting to go gym less. You're not getting up when your alarm goes off. And we literally want to take those things, grab onto them, and reverse the process. So we have this force pushing against us. It's actually making us believe in ourselves less. We want to find any area we can. Again, setting a time, getting up at that time. Say you're going to hit a workout that day at this time, you hit it. And anything, like you say that you're going to fucking go for a walk after dinner, even if it gets later than you thought, you go for that walk because you said you were going to do it. So if you don't believe your own word when it comes to the market and when it comes to the charts, we're in that stressed environment. We're at our most vulnerable. So we have to build it up when it's easy, get the easy wins, and then when it transfers into the market, when it's more difficult, we're like, okay, cool. I am the person that follows my plan. I am the person that does what they say they're going to do. Cool. And the way we do that, like we said, upgraded self-image, subconscious reprogramming, so use binaural beats to actually program your subconscious, nervous system training, so super important, massive game changer, is regulating the actual body. So we actually, when it comes to our blood chemistry in the market's pulling back, perceiving it as attack, cortisol spikes, decision-making ability decreases. So gymming, cold showers, anything that actually puts our body in that stressful situation. and then installing a weekly workflow. So what are the actions that you have to do on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, on a monthly basis to ensure profitability? Daily report cards, weekly reviews, monthly recaps, all that stuff. Find out what it is, systemize it, make a template for it, and do it every single day, every week. And that's what's required. Like, this game, there is an admission price to this game, and there's also fucking unlimited, like, there's no ceiling, there's no cap. But because of that, there is a price to pay. We have to pay that price. We have to respect the market for what it is. Again, it is the best profession in the world, if you ask me, but it does come with a lot of must-dos, and this is pretty much everything that I found was the kind of a, it's not a nice to have, it's kind of not kind of a, it is a must have. These are the non-negotiables. If we want to push a button, sit in our room and extract thousands from the market, this is what we have to do. We have to be responsible, take responsibility, take ownership, and yeah, cool. That is it, everything. Yeah, implement it, and yeah, I'll catch you next one. Peace.